Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chandler, and in today's video I'm going to be seeing how many books I can read in 24 hours. So I'm going to start off with talking to you all about the books I kind of have in mind for this video, the books on my radar, kind of my TBR for this video. So let's start with what I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading Crown of Midnight, which is the second book in the Throne of Glass series. Kind of the third book, kind of the second, because there's a prequel as well, but this is the third book I'm reading in the series, and I currently am on page 208, so I'm about halfway through. I think I'm like exactly halfway through actually, and I definitely want to finish this in this video. And then I also own the next book in the series, Heir of Fire, and that would be incredible to finish this as well. I'm loving the series so much so far. And then also on my Kindle I just borrowed Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. This is a thriller and I've been wanting to get to this for a while. I really want to try to read some books on my physical TBR for this video to kind of shrink that number down. My thought kind of for this video is I'm not going to read for 24 hours straight, because for me, with being in school and everything, I don't really have 24 hours where I'm not doing anything at all. I'm gonna be reading whenever I have time, and then if there's something that I can listen to an audiobook while I do it, then we can do that as well. So the way I'm gonna do this video, if you kind of haven't already gathered, is I'm gonna set a 24-hour timer on my phone, and then whenever I'm not reading, I will stop the timer. I have some plans tonight, but after those plans, when I get home, I will start my reading. Okay, I'm now finally ready to start this reading. Does this light look weird behind me? I can't tell. But I'm gonna start reading some of Crown of Midnight, and I would love to finish this book tonight. I have like about 200 pages to read, but I feel like I could definitely do it, especially because this is a 24-hour challenge, so I'm going to be reading a ton. So that's going to be my goal for tonight, is to finish this before I go to sleep. And I feel like I read about like 100 pages every like hour and 15 minutes. So let's get to reading. Guys, I'm literally don't know what I'm doing. I forgot to start the timer. We're going to set a timer for 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds, because that's the longest you can do. So here is our timer going. I'm now on chapter 35, page 246, and I think it's definitely really interesting because this book has a bunch of different point of views, which is definitely fun to get like different point of views from people we haven't gotten before. But it's in third person, so it's like kind of weird because they're not talking about themselves as like I, so it like messes with my brain a little. I don't know why. I really love this series. I don't know if I love it as much as the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by her. We'll have to see. That series was definitely more of like a romantasy, and this is like definitely like straight fantasy, and this is also young adult, and the other one was not young adult. It's really good though. I gave the other two books I read in the series 5 stars. I'm not sure if this one's gonna be 5 star. Maybe like a 4.5. I don't know. If the end like wows me. It definitely could be, but we'll see. Okay, update. I currently have 22 hours and 38 minutes left on the timer. So I've read for almost an hour and a half now. And I actually am almost done with my book. I downloaded it on my Kindle as well. I'm on chapter 52, which it says it's page 402 on here. But I've read a lot tonight. I don't know how I've been reading so fast or like what's going on. But I'm really happy that I'm almost done with this book. It says I have 27 minutes left in it, so I'm gonna try to finish this right now. It's so good. Also, it's the same night I just changed into this. I need a minute to gather my thoughts, and then I'll give y'all like a review. Okay, so I paused my timer and it's at 22 hours and 23 minutes. So it took me a little over an hour and a half to read half of this book. I don't know if it's like a 4.5 or 4.75 or 5. I can't tell. I'll put my final rating on the screen whenever I decide on, once I have more time to think about it. But I really enjoyed this book. I currently only have like one little tab in it. I don't know if you can see that, because I read a lot of it on my Kindle and I like highlighted stuff on there, and then I'll go later and like transfer my stuff I highlighted on there into this book and like tab it. But it was so good, and I just love the series so much, and I'm so excited to continue it. I really like the main character. I think she's just a very likable main character, at least I think. And there's like the tiniest subplot of romance that I live for. This is mainly like action, adventure, and then like the politics of the fantasy world. But there was a huge like reveal at the end of this book that I was not expecting that really has me interested. But I'm just gonna say I really like this book. and I really like the series, and now I kind of want to like just start the next book like right now. It's the next morning and I'm about to leave to go to my sister's basketball game, but I thought I should get some reading done, so I'm gonna bring Heir of Fire to the game. I don't know if I'll be able to read any, maybe in the car. I'm not gonna bring my camera with me, but I might read some of this. Hello, it's a little later in the afternoon because I've just had so much to do today, but I finally have some downtime where I'm gonna sit down and read for a few hours hopefully. I was able to read for an hour more earlier today, so currently the timer is at 21.5 hours, and in that hour I only got up to page 35, and I think that's because I just had so many distractions around me when I was trying to read, so it was like hard to focus. And I don't really have much to say about it so far because it's the beginning of the book. Things haven't really like picked up yet, if that makes sense. We met some new characters and some of these names are definitely familiar, so I'm excited to like see what happens with them. Okay, it's night and it's literally a school night, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna read before bed a little. I've been reading for like 2 hours now, but I'm reading Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney on my Kindle, and this book is actually so insane. Like, it's so crazy. There have been so many plot twists and I'm like jaw dropped. When I was about to go to bed earlier, I was 53% of the way through the book, and now I'm 89. It's so good, and the chapters are so short. It tells you like how many minutes are left in the chapter, and literally every single chapter has been like 5 minutes or less. So I've been flying through it just because of the short chapters, because I'm like, oh, one more. It's so eerie though because it's nighttime. Also, I currently have 17 hours and 55 minutes left, so I have read for 6 hours now, which I thought I was gonna be able to do this challenge quicker, but it's okay. It's still fun. But I'm gonna keep reading and I'll update y'all when I finish, either way, if it's tonight or like tomorrow. It's after school the next day, and I thought I would give you all an actual review on this book right here. This is Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I think my final rating for this book is... Hi! Say hi! They're so cute, oh my goodness. My final rating is 4.5 stars. The last few thrillers I read have all been 4.5 stars actually. I don't think I've ever given a thriller 5 stars. But the plot twist and the plot of a thriller has to be really good for me to like it, and it has to be fast paced. I'm trying to pick the little sticker off as I talk, but that's exactly what this book was. I would say this is definitely better than the other 2 of her books I read. I've read Rock, Paper, Scissors and His and Hers, and I definitely think this one was better than both those. What are you doing? But I overall really liked the book and I'm glad I read it. But I would really recommend this book. The plot twists really got me. And I was actually really surprised because it doesn't have very high reviews on Goodreads. But like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So now we finished 2 books, technically like 1.5 because I was already halfway through the other book. But I'm still reading my audiobook. But yeah, I just wanted to give my final review on Sometimes I Lie. Okay, I look kind of crazy right now, but I wanted to update you guys. But I have been reading Heir of Fire. I'm currently on page 137, which is chapter 18. As you can see, that's not that far into the book. I would really love to get halfway today. That would be like ideal. But so far, I'm really liking this book. It gets a little slow at some parts just because we get every character's perspective, but like in third person. And there's some perspectives I really just don't care about and I'm more bored when I'm reading them. But then other perspectives I'm loving. I also have been reading on my phone as like an audiobook. My grandmother asked me to tell you she's sorry, and I'm 2 hours into that. But we have read so far for 8.5 hours and we have 15.5 left. But for right now, I'm gonna go sit down and read this for about an hour and I'll come back to you all after. It's now been an hour and this book is definitely getting better as it goes on. I'm really invested now, so I'm gonna try to get to halfway today. But yeah, the book's just getting better as it goes on and more things are happening. I would say though it's super character driven, even though like there is a plot obviously, but sometimes it can get a little hard to like remember who is who for 2 reasons. One, there's so many characters, and then 2, a lot of the characters have like similar names. There's like 3 important characters and their names all start with M's, and I can never remember who is who. But I think I'm gonna go keep reading now. I just got to part 2. Part 1 is called Heir of Ash, and then I'm on part 2 now, which is called Heir of Fire, which is what the book's called. So I'm really excited for this last, like, it's a little less than half of the book. It's just been so good so far, and I'm actually starting to like understand more of the characters and like actually care about a lot of them. I literally love this series so much, and I love these characters so much, and I'm so glad I get to like share this with you all as I read these books, because they're so good. Okay, so it's now nighttime. Guys, I have been reading so much. I just paused the timer. It's currently at 11 hours and 40 minutes. We've read like 12.5 hours, I think. So we're over halfway done with the challenge. I have like 100 pages left, and I kind of want to finish it all tonight, even though it's already 9:45. It says it'll take me another hour and 16 minutes. I put like my little bookmark in the physical book. You can see where I am. I'm almost done with it. I'm a little confused right now, like actually what's happening. And this just has been so good. I've loved all the characters we've gotten to meet, and I'm overall just really enjoying it. So I don't know if we'll finish it tonight. If we don't finish it tonight, we'll definitely finish it like tomorrow morning. Hello, I have finally finished Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. Let me start off with saying that I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I think it might be my favorite in the series so far, just because so much happened and we met so many new characters, and it was overall just such a good book and I really enjoyed it. I don't have like a ton to say about it because it is part of a series, so I can't give you like a synopsis of it because that would spoil the other books, but I'm overall absolutely loving this series so much. And I already have the next book I want to read, but I also don't want this video to like just turn into like a Throne of Glass reading vlog, you know? I want to be able to read some other things for you guys, so to be honest, I don't know what I should read next, if I should continue on with the series because I really want to do that right now. I also have a poetry book I'm in the middle of, so maybe I could finish that. I'm like halfway through it now. And then I'm also still reading my audiobook. Maybe I'll finish the book that I've been reading as my audiobook. I have like the actual physical version of it right here, so maybe I'll find like where I am in the book and read it as the actual book and try to finish this. I think that's a good plan of action, so we're gonna do that. Hey guys, don't mind the bed in the background. I'm washing my sheets. We currently have 6 hours left on the timer, so I've read for 18 hours and I finished another book, and that was the audiobook I've been reading during this challenge. I've been just listening to the audiobook whenever I can to try to get some reading in, and that was My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry. And I have like really weird opinions on this book. I went into it thinking it was something completely different than it was. This is by Frederick Backman, and I previously read A Man Called Ove by him, and that was like a sad literary fiction book, so I assumed that's what this was going to be. But this turned into being more of a like magical realism fantasy, but I really didn't enjoy it. I ended up giving this book 2 stars. I put this in my Goodreads review, but I could quite literally not tell you one thing that happened in this book. I was just so like detached from it, and like I did not care about anything that was happening, and I often zoned out when listening to it. I almost DNF'd this like halfway through, but I just kept pushing for the video to finish it. I don't think it's like a bad book objectively, but I definitely don't think it's for me. But with the 6 hours left on the timer, I am also almost done with this poetry book, Books Closed by Corey Jane Spalding. It's very short. It's like under 200 pages, and I've just been reading like a few poems here and there, but I'm mostly through it and I might just like finish this all today. I'm hoping to finish the reading today. And then also I just borrowed the audiobook for, I have this book too, The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and I'm excited to read this. I've read 2 of her other books. I've read The Paris Apartment, which I really liked, and then The Hunting Party, which I didn't like as much. I don't think we'll finish it in this video, but we might read some of it. Also, I need to take a minute to tell you guys I've been doing so good with my physical TBR. I was watching a video that I had made like 2 years ago, and I had over 50 books that I owned that I hadn't read. At the beginning of this year I had 29, I think 28, 27, around there, and I currently have 20. When I finish this I'll have 19. Like I've already knocked out like 9 books on my physical TBR this year. That is crazy. My goal is to get it to 10 by the end of the year, and that's definitely gonna happen because personally for me I don't see the point in owning like 100 books you haven't read. I know it works for some people, but that would just be so overwhelming to me. I think if I can keep about 10 books on my physical TBR, that would be like a good amount for me, so I'm just really proud of myself for that. But it's Sunday, so I have a bunch of chores and stuff to do, and as I do them I'm gonna listen to this audiobook, and then after that I'm gonna sit down, finish this. I might just read these two for the rest of the video, but we'll see. It's the same day. I just changed my shirt. One of my favorite things to do when I read is have like a little fun drink. I thought we didn't have any, but I found cherry Coke. I love putting soda into this cute little cup. But I love having a good drink on my nightstand and reading a good book. I'm really liking this book so far. It's a self-published poetry book by this girl that I have seen on Instagram, and I really liked her poems. There's some I definitely like more than others, but they're just like so pretty and fun to read. And it's also one of my goals for 2023 to read 3 poetry books because I want to read more like intellectual books. I don't know how many more pages I have. I think like 15 or something. But I'm just gonna finish this and sip on my cherry Coke. Okay, so I just finished Books Closed by Corey Jane Spalding. I don't know what I want to rate it, but overall as a whole I really enjoyed the book and I would definitely recommend it. It's cool to like see into someone's mind and like how people can write that. I want to keep reading. I might listen to my audiobook, but yeah, I really like this book. It's now 8 p.m. and I have been listening to my audiobook literally all evening, but I have an hour and 45 minutes left on the timer, and I am just gonna listen to this audiobook until the timer is up, so around 9:45. You can see the timer right there, but I've been listening to The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I really like it so far. I think it's a good book. Nothing like insane has happened yet, but it's like keeping my interest and keeping me intrigued, and it's like interesting. But I'm gonna keep listening to the audiobook of this, and then when the timer is up I'll give you all my final like thoughts. It's the next morning, right? But I have an announcement to make. I have officially finished the 24 hours of reading. I'm so glad I finally made it. This probably took like 5 days, I don't know, but I did it. I stuck through. I listened to my audiobook for the last portion of it, and I got 7.5 hours into my audiobook because I listened to it on 1.5 speed, which is 71% of the way through it. So I thought real quick we should go through the books that I have read in this challenge. We started this video off with Crown of Midnight, and I gave that 4.5 stars. Then I read Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney, and I also gave that 4.5 stars. Then Air of Fire by Sarah J Maas, I gave 5 stars. My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry, 2 stars. And then Books Closed by Corey Jane Spalding, I don't think I'm gonna rate. And then I also got through most of the guest list. I'd say that's 5 books because I technically finished 5 books, but one of them I was halfway through, and then I'm also halfway through a book right now, so I'd say the halves count as one book. I don't know. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below for more videos like this one. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!